Hello, my dear students. Welcome to my channel, Naomi's Educart. I am Dr. Naomi Dayal, and this channel is going to be about online lecture series on various topics of biotechnology and genetics. So, if you are a student of biology, biotechnology, or genetics, please do consider subscribing to my channel. So, without further ado, let us start with the lecture. Today's lecture in my cart is first trimester screening tests, or the screening tests or the diagnostic tests which are done during the first trimester of pregnancy. So without starting with the different screening tests, we'll first learn about what is prenatal diagnosis. Prenatal diagnosis is a set of tests which are done during the prenatal stage, that is, during the pregnancy and before the birth of the baby. So these tests are usually done uh, to diagnose genetic abnormalities as well as presence of any kind of structural anomalies at an early embryonic stage of the fetus. It helps to find out the risk for any kind of disabilities or diseases present in the baby. Here are here are the tests which are done during the first trimester. Now remember, these are the routine tests. That means every pregnant woman has to undergo these tests during her first trimester of pregnancy. So at the first visit, the woman is prescribed for a pregnancy test, a blood test, urine test, and a dating ultrasound. Further, as in the later weeks of the first trimester, she is prescribed for maternal blood screening test, nuchal translucency scan, and a nasal bone scan. Coming to each of the tests in detail as to and uh, when they are done and what is the clinical significance behind each of the tests. The first trimester usually consists of the first to 13 weeks of pregnancy. Okay, that is from week 1 to week 13 is considered to be the first trimester. So the very first test which is usually done is the pregnancy test. Okay, so many a times women do this particular test, getting a home pregnancy test kit, okay, and testing the urine sample on this particular kit. So it is usually done during the first from 7 to 10 days after a missed period. Okay, this particular test usually detects the human chorionic gonadotropin hormone from the urine, okay, and not from the blood. Of course, HCG, which is short formed, it can also be detected in the blood when you do give your blood sample in the lab. That is quite a confirmatory test. Okay, so this is the very first test when the woman comes to know whether she is pregnant or no. Next is when she visits the gynec will prescribe a list of tests. For example, the normal blood test, which is usually done during the 8 weeks of pregnancy. And this particular blood test usually checks for the maternal blood type. For example, whether a woman is of which blood type, whether A, AB, B, or O blood type. Okay. Along with that, RH factor is also determined. That means whether she is A positive, A negative, B positive, and so on. Next, it will also the blood test. Through the blood test, the gynec will also come to know whether she is having any immunity towards any kind of infectious diseases, depending upon what antibodies are analyzed. Next, the blood sample is also tested for the sexually transmitted diseases. For example, you have the HIV virus, you have the HBV, HCV viruses. So, even under normal conditions, the gynec will want to know that whether she is having any kind of such sexually transmitted disease in her, because the reason why is these diseases can be easily transferred to the developing baby. So in order to be pretty sure that the baby is not positive for any of these diseases, this particular test is done. Apart from that, the blood test will also give a lot of information about the overall health of the pregnant woman regarding the hemoglobin count, the hemoglobin levels, the WBC, RBC count, and if at all any kind of deficiencies is present in the woman, any kind of vitamin deficiency or etc. Next is the urine test. Now, urine test is also done at 8 weeks and it is recommended at every trimester at least. Okay, so urine test is done usually to detect any signs of diabetes. Clear. So many a times what happens is a pregnant woman, okay, before conceiving, she might not be having any kind of diabetic problems, but many a times during the pregnancy she encounters diabetes. Okay, that is usually termed as gestational diabetes. Okay, so that can be detected through the urine test, and it is very essential to be detected, as it can even harm the baby. Apart from that, urine test is usually done to detect preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is also a medical condition wherein during the pregnancy the blood pressure of the woman rises. Okay, the woman tends to show high blood pressure. So if at all urine test is done at regular intervals, there are some proteins which are detected in the urine which gives an idea whether a woman is would be prone to preeclampsia or no. Apart from that, the urine test will also give an idea about any kind of urinary tract infection if the woman is having. Next, we have the dating ultrasound. Dating ultrasound is also done at 8 weeks of pregnancy. And if you take a look at this particular picture, you can see the gestational sac. Okay, you can also see an embryo which has got implanted into the uterus. This particular dating ultrasound is usually done to check whether implantation has occurred, and more importantly whether implantation has occurred in the uterus. It is very essential for a pregnancy to continue. The implantation should have occurred in the uterus only. Okay, if implantation of the embryo, okay, occurs outside the uterus, okay, any area outside the uterus, it is considered to be ectopic pregnancy. And ectopic pregnancy do not last for long. They get terminated during the first trimester mostly. Okay, and it should not be actually kept because it will harm the mother as well. Through this dating ultrasound, the gynec also, or the sonologist, will also get to have an idea about the baby's heartbeat. Clear. And it will help to estimate the baby's due date. Okay, next we have the maternal blood serum screening. This is usually done during the 11th to the 14th week of gestation. And here in this particular test, the maternal blood sample is collected and analyzed for human chorionic gonadotropin hormone, also called as the beta HCG, and the pregnancy associated plasma protein, that is PAP-A. Maternal serum human chorionic gonadotropin hormone. Now, this particular hormone is typically produced during pregnancy and it is produced by the placenta. Usually what happens is, as the pregnancy proceeds, the HCG levels in the initial phase, that is during the first trimester, is at its peak, and later on it may gradually tend to decline over the rest of the pregnancy period. Now there are chances of the HCG levels being detected as high or low. Now high or low levels of HCG all depends upon various factors. For example, the health condition of the mother and the fetus, at what time the HCG levels are being measured, I mean the duration whether you are in the 7th week, 8th week, 9th week, and so on. Okay, so when are the HCG levels measured? That also plays a very important role. And if at all there is any kind of miscalculation of the dating, that means when the date is asked about the last menstrual period, if you are not sure of that date, then also the estimations may go wrong. Clear? So here are a few of the examples. For example, molar pregnancy. In case of molar pregnancy, the HCG levels may tend to go high. Clear? Multiple pregnancy also may show high levels of HCG. For example, if a woman is pregnant with twins or triplets, then she may show high levels of HCG. On the other hand, low HCG levels may be due to possible miscarriage. If at all a miscarriage has been taken place recently, then also it may show low HCG levels. Also, low HCG levels may be due to ectopic pregnancies. So, if at all the pregnancy, the implantation has not occurred in the uterus and it is outside the uterus, then also the HCG levels may tend to be low. So, taking into account all of these factors, the ultrasound observations, the measurement of the HCG levels, and the date which is estimated, okay, at what uh, appropriate, I mean at what period you are in your pregnancy, at what stage you are in your pregnancy, in which week you are in your pregnancy, all of this collectively will help to estimate the risk of having a child with any kind of abnormality. Next is pregnancy associated plasma protein, or PAPA. Now this particular protein, again, it is produced during the pregnancy by the placenta, and this particular protein plays a very important role in maintaining a proper growth and development of the fetus. It helps to complete the it plays a very important role in completing the full term pregnancy. So low levels of PAP-A, that is less than 0.5 MOM. MOM is nothing but multiples of median. Usually this is the unit for which is taken into consideration for measuring these PAP-A levels. Okay, so if at all the PAP-A levels are less than 0.5 MOM in early pregnancy. Now again, it depends at what stage you are measuring your PAP-A levels. Okay, that also plays a very important role. Okay, so low PAP-A levels are majorly associated with Down syndrome and other birth defects present in the developing baby. There is a chance of possible miscarriage to occur. There is a chance of stillbirth or infant death to occur. There is a chance of poor fetal development, okay, which is taking place because of low PAPA levels, and there is high chance of premature delivery. So this measurements will help to estimate the risk associated with the pregnancy and what precautions and treatment measures need to be taken. Coming to the nuchal translucency screening. Okay, now nuchal translucency screening is a kind of ultrasonography which is usually done to check the thickness of fluid which accumulates behind the neck region of the baby. So if you take a look at these images which are shown, this is a normal fetus, okay, because the thickness is very less. Now remember, the thickness also depends upon at what stage of pregnancy the NT scan or the nuchal translucency scan is done, whether it is done in the first trimester or you have crossed the first trimester, you are in your early second trimester, at that particular time you are doing the screening. So that also plays a very important role because the thickness might increase as the trimester proceeds. But taking into account nuchal translucency screening during the 11th to the 14th weeks of your pregnancy. If the thickness is more than 2 or 2.5 then there is a high risk of child having a chromosomal or cardiovascular abnormality. Okay, that is considered to be abnormal, and with the increase in the thickness, the risk of having a child with an abnormality also increases. So the measurement of NT thickness plays a very important role, and it is usually done through the sonography, which is recommended during the first trimester. Next, you have the detection of nasal bone at 11 to the 14th week. Okay, so when you are going for ultrasound along with the NT scan, the the detection of presence or absence of nasal bone also is done. Now nasal bone detection also plays a very important role in detecting especially whether the child would be having Down syndrome or no. Okay, so if you take a look at the sonography images, you can see two parallel lines here in this particular image. The upper line is the layer of skin, and the lower line, okay, is the line for presence of the nasal bone. This is the nasal tip. Okay, so two parallel lines indicate the presence of nasal bone, while if you take a look in the figure towards your right, okay, only a single line for indicating the presence of skin, okay, is showing. That is the layer, the uppermost layer of the skin is to be seen, whereas there is absence of nasal bone here. Now, taking into account the sonography observations as well as the observations which are obtained from the maternal screening tests, together collectively help to estimate the risk of having a child with a chromosomal abnormality. Clear, everyone? So, if any kind of abnormal observations are detected during these routine tests, that is the maternal screening test as well as the ultrasonography which is done in the first trimester, only then the woman or the patient is prescribed for specialized test. Now when I say specialized test, they are invasive tests. Okay, now the invasive tests are to be done only if any kind of abnormal observations are observed in these first trimester routine screening tests. Okay, so we'll come to that in our later lectures, which are the invasive tests during done during the first trimester. So this was it for today's lecture. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Also, you are free to comment if you want me to make any lectures regarding to a topic related to the subject. Thank you, everyone.